Welcome to the Battlefield Show. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, and as always, I'm joined by Sammy Boy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Ready to talk some more Battlefield this week, and we have quite the fun topic today. Vince Zampella, our Lord and Savior, has hopped on an interview with Barrons.com. And he had some interesting things to say about the future of Battlefield and how he's approaching it. So we're going to talk about that as well as our experiences playing Battlefield 2042. So let's hop right in. Before we get into the main meat of the show, how have you been enjoying Battlefield, man?
I've actually been pretty addicted to it.
Yeah.
Season 2 has really hooked me again. So I've been itching for the weekly challenges to get updated, and as soon as they drop, I've been trying to get them done, and I've been chasing a few tier 1 skins and stuff. So yeah, I'm having a blast with it at the moment, and hopefully they can just continue to give us stuff that I'm sure towards the end of each month it'll get a little bit dry for a week or two, but if they can just give us every update, something that we go, oh, that's exciting, I'm going to jump back on, then that's all I can ask for at this point, because I think it seems like the start of every season is going to be really, a lot of fun. And so, yeah, they just have to now try and spread it out, because that was their issue with Season 1. It was just all sort of exciting at once, and then nothing really happened after that. So that's really the only thing that I hope they can do moving forward, is just, give us a bit of a, kind of like drip feed us a bit of stuff throughout the season.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be in a decent state. What about you?
I've been having fun. I haven't played it quite as much this past week and a half just because of just being so busy. But before, like the first week or basically the first two, maybe a week and a half of the season starting, the new update and everything like that, I was playing every single day. And that's rare. It's rare for me to hop on a game and play it pretty much every day. I'll usually hop between a couple games. Like right now I'm playing through Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Brilliant Diamond. And before that I was playing Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And then I also hop in between Halo at the same time. So I have a bunch of different experiences to scratch different itches in that. But I set aside my Switch for a bit and just played Battlefield pretty much the entire week. Anytime I was on my lunch break, I would be hopping in. I'd have spots in, after work, I'd hop on to the Xbox Series S I have at the studio and just play on that, get some gameplay footage, and just hop in and enjoy it. Hopped on with friend of the podcast, Yepper, pretty early on in the cycle of the season. I haven't really gotten into the whole weekly mission side of things. That's just not something that I usually get involved in. I usually will. The thing with me is I'll play so inconsistently. By the time I get through one part of it, it's oh crap, I missed the deadline to get that season, which is a part of it. But yeah, dude, that map so good.
Oh, it's grown on me even more. I had nothing but praise for it when we first spoke about it, and it's honestly just gotten, I think it's overtaken exposure for me, which I didn't ever expect that to happen. So
yeah,
it's good. I hope they can, if they can keep these maps coming, for the, we both assume there's only going to be 2 more seasons. If the next 2 maps can be similar to the 2 they've given us, then that'll be awesome, because they've pretty much nailed them, I'd say. The last 2 maps have been absolutely spot on, and they're not just good for this game, actually good for Battlefield in general. They're actually, these maps would stand up in any of the old games. I think they might not be the best map, but they would be. You wouldn't get to this map in Battlefield 4 and go, oh, I hate this map. You'd actually, it'd be as good as the rest. So let's hope they can keep doing that for the next 2 seasons, and hopefully beyond. But I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. Of judging a map by, would it be a good map if it was in any other Battlefield game? I think that's such a good way of just judging how things go. Is this map, if you copied and pasted it and put it into Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 1, would it hold up gameplay wise? I would say yes. I think it is a very good addition to Battlefield 2042. maybe. I mean, it's what 20. It's the 20th anniversary of Battlefield, so soon we'll have some kind of retro look backs and kind of think about the history of the game series. But I think going back and playing those old games, a lot of those maps hold up. There's still some lackluster ones, but I don't think this map would be one of those lackluster ones.
No, for sure. I think it's like in any single game as well. It's not just like it would do well in Battlefield 5 or something. It would do well, I think, in any game. And obviously it'd play a bit different because the specialist. So for example, like for me, I've been playing McKay a lot because he's really good to sort of grapple around the map. Mm-hmm. So it would obviously play a bit different without specialists and stuff, but I think it's just fundamentally well designed that it would hold up in any game, and that's the way I've been judging them. Because when Exposure dropped, I was like, wow, I love this map. And then I sort of started thinking, is it just good because the rest of them kind of suck? But I kind of I played it a heap, and then I actually went back and played, I can't remember. I think I played Battlefield 4 just for like a quick session. And I thought, I think this would actually hold up in Battlefield 4. So that's kind of how, with the rest of the game, I don't try and compare it like that because it's just instantly going to lose. To like, if you say, would the specialists hold up in Battlefield 4? Like, the answer's no to pretty much everything else in the game. No. But with the maps, I think maps are so fundamental to like the enjoyment of a game for me. Like, if the maps aren't good, I won't enjoy the game. So for me, it's like they still have to be to the standard of the previous games. Everything else, the specialists, the weapons, all that, it's not quite as like important for them to be as good as the previous games, but the maps have to be that good. So
yeah,
the fact that these two, at least in my opinion, they are as good as the rest. They're not, like I said, they're not the best. It's not like these are the two best maps we've ever gotten, but the fact that they're on par with the rest is kind of what they need to do, and I think it's a nice change up because the base 7 maps, I'm not really sure I could say the same about those maps.
Yeah, no. You mentioned a little bit earlier on, but what are some ways that you think that, because I feel like pretty consistently we're getting into the spot with Battlefield of like, okay, yeah, that's good. And then like we play a bunch of it and then it's like, what else is there? What's going on? What are some ways that you think that could be fixed?
I mean, the obvious answer is like, I think we all would love for more content, as in like more maps and stuff, but I think that's just unrealistic.
That was my second question of like, when you say more content, maps.
Yeah. For everything else, like, because like, for example, this season, I'm pretty sure in the next update, or we don't know which update, but they've said they're adding more portal weapons into All Out Warfare this season. So I imagine that's the next update. It does feel like we are getting a bit more throughout the season. We're going to get the two new, or not new, but the two reworked maps. So I guess we'll get renewal first because they've probably been working on that, longer. So that'll probably be this update with a couple of weapons and some fixes. And then the next update after that will probably be Orbital and maybe another couple of weapons. So on that side of it, like, that's decent. That's as good as Call of Duty does. They put out two weapons per update essentially as well. So that's as good as any other game. It's just the maps for me that's the only issue. And again, I'm not like, it's not really a complaint for me because I'm expecting that. So I'm not like having a sulk that there's not enough maps because I've come to accept that like months ago. I remember a few weeks before the season dropped, we weren't even sure that we were getting a map. So
yeah,
it's like I've like completely accepted that, and one map per season is, for me, that's a pass mark. I'm not like angry about that, but I think we all would want, like, I want more. Just because I'm accepting of it doesn't mean I don't want an extra map, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that's the main thing. But again, I don't think that's realistic. The only way that would be realistic is if they could put portal maps in, because I guess that takes a little bit less time. And they're also, even if it took the exact same amount of time, they're also smaller. So that's the only way I could see that realistically happening, which still I don't think that would happen. But that's really all I need for them to do, I think, is just a bit more content to keep us hooked throughout the season. That's really it.
What does Call of Duty do? Like how frequently do they have updates?
I'm trying to think back to, because I didn't play Vanguard, because to be honest, that game was not that good.
Yeah, I didn't. I skipped that, but I enjoyed Cold War a lot. But I wasn't.
Yeah.
I bought it after all of the fun was happening.
Oh,
like
okay.
I got it past all the updates, so I wasn't a part of that
Yeah.
side of things.
Yeah. So usually their season is instead of being 3 months, they're usually 2 months. So essentially, what we get in with, say with this season, we get it over 3 months with the battle pass and all that stuff. They get it in 2 months, but they usually have like a mid-season update. Now they sometimes will have smaller updates that aren't really content. It's more just like patches and stuff. Every now and then in one of those, they'll drop like a new map. But the difference with those is that their maps are so small that they can put out like them putting out 4 maps a season. Realistically, is the same as one for Battlefield, because it's you could fit all 4. If
They have
not
a much
more than
smaller
that.
scale.
Yeah, like they can pump those maps out faster, not because they're harder working. It's just literally they are smaller. Like it just takes less time to do them. So I'd say like per season they get, the season 1 update will go live. They'll get, say, usually 2 maps with that. They'll get the battle pass. They'll get maybe 2 weapons, and then obviously like a bunch of skins and all that kind of thing. Then there's usually the mid-season update, which you'll get another 2 weapons and occasionally another 2 maps, or they might do 1 map there and then like 2 weeks later another map or whatever. The thing with those maps too is a lot of them are like reworked. They're essentially like portal maps. They've just taken maps.
They're
from the
classic
old Modern
maps,
Warfare. Yeah. So that I'd imagine again, we know from the Battlefront days that they kind of confirmed, at least for DICE, that it still takes like 70% of the time. It's not just like copy paste. So it still takes a while, but you're saving 30% of the time. So they put out a lot more maps per season, but outside of that, really everything else is pretty similar. They get the battle pass with 100 tiers. They get probably 4 weapons per season, and obviously you get stuff in Warzone as well. But just talking strictly Call of Duty, it's pretty similar to Battlefield, I would say.
Yeah, but I think the thing that really gets everybody is we know what Call of Duty does. We know the time frame. We know how consistently stuff's going to come out. With Battlefield, it's like, I mean, it comes down to the whole point of like, are we even getting a map?
Yeah, yeah. That's the issue, is that their structure is just really good. They just go, here's the season. They'll usually say at the start of the season too, they have the balls to just say like, this is everything you're going to get in the season. But they'll say like this stuff, they'll put out one of those graphics and they'll kind of say, this is dropping at the start of the season, this is dropping at the end of the season. So they just straight up say everything, and then you know what's coming. So after 3 weeks when the season's dropped, you don't start going, I wonder what this next update's going to be. You already know. Like it says they do pretty much a roadmap with each season. So that's what they do a lot better, is that there's never like those nervous moments. Like with Battlefield, there's so many times when you're just like, I don't know what, like, are we even getting an update this month? Like you just don't know.
Yeah.
And luckily,
or when the
lately,
update's going to
been pretty
drop.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't. I think this one they've said is actually at the end of September instead of the start of October. So it's like, what is your release schedule? Like, isn't it meant to be the first week or so of every month? But now we're getting one like early. So not that that's a bad thing, but it's just like we just don't know when stuff is happening.
No, but it's inconsistent, and it's hard to build expectations. Which, I mean, it's easy to build expectations, but it's hard to put trust into something and feel like. I mean, we're in this weird spot where, like, are we getting anything else? What are we getting? When are we going to get it? Is the map rework happening now? Is it happening later? When are the new weapons coming in? When are the new portal stuff? Like, what's going on here? We don't know. And I think that's ultimately what comes down to why we're in this spot where it's like, I'm loving playing it, but I'm also, like, eyeing some other games where it's like, it's about that time where I'm like, okay, I've played this map enough times so far to get like, okay, yep, I'm playing the same thing multiple times over. It may be great, but it's like even if you have French fries every night, you're still going to be like, man, It'd be nice not to have French fries tonight.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the same for me. That's the same sort of issue between, or like difference between Call of Duty and Battlefield, is that Call of Duty is a lot more like, not that DICE and like EA aren't professional. It's a huge company, but like Call of Duty is just so much more professional. They're
a machine.
Yeah, they literally just print out content, and that's what they do. And it might not be as good. Like, to be honest, I think now Vanguard, again, I can't really judge too much because I haven't played it in a long time, but I would imagine, I actually think Battlefield is probably better than Vanguard right now. So it's not like their content's always better, because it is a smaller scale. It's like an arcade type of game, so it's not for everyone. But in terms of the amount of stuff they put out, it's just crazy. Like, they just pump out content. And that's the thing, that it doesn't even have to be, with Battlefield, it doesn't have to be the quantity, just like high quality and like consistent. It doesn't have to be a map every month, but just let us know, like, market your map a month before, like, that's the thing. We get the trailers like
have
3
tease
days before
videos
the season. Yeah, like, just give us some stuff like that it's actually, we know kind of what's on the horizon. That keeps people hooked. If they, I don't know, a month before season 3 starts, they show us the new map, the people who might drop off in that month will go, oh, but the new map's coming out next month, so I'll just keep playing. Like, that's the sort of thing that it feels like the Call of Duty play base is a lot more constant. Like, if you play Call of Duty, you play Call of Duty, whereas Battlefield, it's a bit more like, you play Battlefield, but like, when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, I'm going to play that. You know what I mean? It's not as like constant of a play base, which it should be, and it used to be. But I think they just leave a lot of gaps for people to sort of fall off, which not only sucks for those people, but it sucks for those of us who are still playing, and then we have less of a play base. Like in Australia, it's at the end of seasons, it's like hard to find games again, so they just need to sort of plug those holes up a bit, I guess.
Yeah, they need to keep people involved. They need to make sure that there's a reason for people to stay around the game, give them something new, because I think Battlefield, especially current day Battlefield, is very dependent on, if there's new content, there's going to be people playing. If there's no new content, there's not going to be people playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be an interesting dilemma as we see them grow through this. I mean, whoever is managing their marketing team, you're probably a wonderful person outside of your business acumen. But come on, people! Like, have you ever read an email newsletter on current day marketing? I know you're probably reading books from the 90s about it, but like, that's not how you market games currently. Like, you need to be
on. They need to keep up with the pace, don't they?
You need to be marketing your game on TikTok. You need to be like,
yeah.
That's like the stuff there.
I see Infinity Ward doing that. They do vertical videos now. I see sometimes on Twitter posted by like like there's the Charlie Intel page that posts, is like a news page, and they always post these vertical videos. I'm like, why is this vertical? And then I look at the thing and it says like TikTok from Infinity Ward. Like, they are on TikTok marketing their game. It's like little things like that. They've done a lot of stuff the last few weeks of
or get like someone on the community team to get on like a phone video and be like, here are the coolest things that are happening on this new map that's going to be coming in the next season. Like, something as simple as that. It takes 5 seconds to film and then put up there. Like,
hire us too. We make content.
We'll do it.
Give us a job. Tell us, I'll sign as many NDAs as you want, and just tell me the videos you want made, and I'll make them.
Exactly. Vertical format, highlight, just give us the details, and we'll cover it on the podcast for you. But yeah, like, they need to kind of update their thinking around what a current game is in terms of marketing, in terms of everything. Like, when I said they need to be on TikTok, what was your first reaction? It's like, they'd never do that, right? Like, that's probably what you're thinking. Yeah,
I just can't picture seeing EA DICE on TikTok. I just don't. They're just not up. They are very much like a boomer company. Like, they're not up to date. I wonder too if part of it is like the issues internally. If they don't know, they can't market the next map because maybe it's not ready yet and stuff like that. I don't know if that's
show us behind the scenes details.
Yeah, it's so simple. Like change. The other thing is they can change on the fly. So if they're planning on doing the trailer a month before, and then they go, oh, like it's just not ready. We didn't know that, so it's okay if you delay the trailer and give us something else. Like just go, okay, we can't. The trailer's not ready. Let's do just like the teasers they did when. Remember when the game was launching and everyone who worked at DICE, their like profile pictures went all glitched and stuff. Just do stuff like that. Just go. You know how the seasons have had like colors. So season 1 was like yellow, now it's red. Just like change the branding to purple for next season and just do this glitchy video with like a countdown timer. That's all you need. Like it's so simple. That type of thing gets people going, oh, like the next, something's coming. It keeps people hooked and it keeps people engaged with your game. Because if there's just nothing, it's very easy to just forget and then just move on.
Yeah.
Like you just go, this game's like dying. I'm just going to go play something else. If you log on Twitter and you see, Battlefield posting this teaser thing, it doesn't even need to show anything whatsoever. It can literally be a countdown timer saying like 2 weeks from the trailer or whatever. Like, that's enough that like we would both be like, oh, I wonder what this is. Like that keeps you talking. It's so simple. Like I don't know how they don't understand this stuff.
Like there are so many ways you can be like, this is what a day in the life of a DICE developer is, or you can do, hey, this is behind the scenes details. Here's some 5 teases of what the placement of like where in the world the new map is going to be. Like it could be stuff like that where it's like, let's just say it was this one. It's like a storage container. And then like, you could even do like the whole like emoji text reading thing where it's like, oh, hey, storage container plus palm trees plus mountain plus ship. Like they could do stuff like that where you literally told us nothing. But you have content, you have people theorizing what it could be. You could have like, instead of that 70-page PDF document that's hidden on your page around who Crawford is, piece it out. Like have a 60-second video where you're like, oh, this is what this person is, or have like a character highlight reel. Look at what Apex is doing and do like part of that and they're going to be successful.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I was getting at when I say like they're a bit of a boomer company. Like they try to do that. These like dev corner videos that they do, like that's a great idea, but like this is like literally my job to study Battlefield and see the news and stuff. I don't watch those dev corner videos because they're like 45 minutes of them just talking about like the most insignificant things.
And except for the community team, they have like the most unenthusiastic people ever that they have on there.
Yeah, like so they definitely are like trying to do stuff, but like that type of video is what you would expect in 2010. Like that's what content was back then. That's not what it is now. Do like whether it's a genuine like short form content, like a 30-second clip, or even if it can be a 5-minute video, but just like some sort of sneak peek. We've seen them do a couple with like the showing off the reworked maps and stuff. Those were good.
Yeah,
like, they showed the actual difference, and it has Freeman talking, and it like that keeps you hooked.
Yeah, those were great.
Really good. Yeah, so like it's not like they're just not marketing. They're just doing it wrong, and they really do need to sort of keep up. They just literally need to look at Apex and Call of Duty and go, wow, they are pulling numbers on their trailers and all their stuff on Twitter and everything. Like people are hyped because like with Call of Duty, with Modern Warfare 2, they've been showing like the voice actors behind each character and like
it's so freaking awesome.
Quick little interview, and it's like wow, that's like it shows them recording and it's like really interesting to watch. But it's also, even if you could not care less about behind the scenes stuff, it's like you're getting to know that character. You're seeing the actual actor. You're seeing who that character is going to be in the game. Yeah, it's like marketing without actual. It's not even really meant to be marketing. Like it obviously is on their side of things, but to most of us, it just seems like a quick little snippet. It's not even like it's not an ad, but to them it is, because we're then going, oh, this is starting to look really cool. So
yeah.
I know you've done a lot of marketing stuff, and like, your experience is even much more than mine. And if I can understand this, then they need to hire someone like you, or like someone who knows what they're doing, and someone who's not like 45, because it's like, it might sound a bit rude, but that's just not like, a lot of the stuff they're doing is stuff that you would expect 10 years ago. That's just not how content's done. It's not how marketing's done. No one wants to sit there and watch, like, literally, like I said, for my job, I need to know the news. I don't watch those Dev Corner videos. I just go on the
Battlefield Bulletin.
And just get the parts that are important, because I'm not sitting there for 45 minutes watching a pretty, like, low edited, there's no like gameplay bits in the background when they talk about the stuff. It's just people talking. Like, that's just not good content. So it sounds like very rude, and like,
at least we put video game gameplay in our podcasts.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, if Infinity Ward were to do that exact thing, when they talk about the new gun, they'll show the new gun in action. Like, little things like that. That's like just that touch of quality that makes you go, oh, now I can put, I can see what they're talking about. I can understand everything. They don't really do that. They just kind of put out essentially low quality content. So
they don't even do the bare minimum of like, here's a tips and tricks video officially from DICE.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like, hey, here's some new tips and tricks. Here's a 60-second video on tips and tricks on how to play Crawford. Remember, play the objective, blah, blah, blah. The sentry gun is a way to clear a room, and then with your quick revive, you'll be able to do quick revives. Like 60-second things where you can just boom, boom, boom. This is what's happening, and this is super easy. Anyone could make it. But it's just indicative of like they don't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not super hard to... It's not like we're asking them to freaking do some, like, special... Like, it's stuff that you and I do every day. It's not... If I can do it, it's not obviously not hard, because I'm just some random... I have no qualifications. I literally just sit here and make videos. If I can do it, I'm pretty sure someone who is hired by a company as big as EA, I'm fairly sure they can also do it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. For the company that I work for, we are a very, very niche technical audience. Highly technical. It's about technology that's been around forever. It's around like application testing. So it's like, okay, this could be really boring, but we're highlighting influencer marketing. So we're talking with very influential people in the industry. We're having these really high thought-provoking discussions on the tech side of things, as well as the industry as a whole. How that impacts you as a user, you as a business, you as an enterprise. And then we also have, anytime we have a new product launch, we do as short of a demo video as we can. Usually they're 2 to 3 minutes long. If we have an overview video, we were doing 5-minute videos, and then we did 4-minute videos, and then we got that even down to 3-minute videos of an overview of a very technical topic. We want to have a wide breach. We'll have podcasts. We'll have clips from that podcast. We'll have shorts from that podcast. Basically, you take all of this content, you fit it into a varying array of, oh, hey, someone who is looking at going extremely technically deep, go to our blog posts or our press releases. You'll find all of the nerdy details. Second layer down, you can go to the product page. Secondary layer down between that, you can look at the new product release page. You can look at the feature releases and find all of the patch notes. And then you can go even further down. It's like, oh, hey, I'm just interested in this one specific topic that you can use this product for. Boom, there's a video for you. Boom, there's a short. Oh, hey, I'm interested in this one topic around this technical aspect of things, and I really want to hear really cool, very knowledgeable people do it. Well, listen to the podcast. You can find that there, like social media posts where you quote it, you clip it, like you do all of these different things, and then you go to Twitter on Battlefield, and it's like, well, there's some gameplay from this other YouTuber, and you scroll down, it's like, oh, hey, here's some even more gameplay from the same YouTuber last week. Like they have 5 people that they pull clips from. It's like, I know there's more people playing Battlefield than those 5 people.
Yeah, that's a very good point about what you said, how there's like different, I guess, like levels to the content and different, almost like different entry levels. So if someone's just a complete casual and they just see something, they see a quick short and they go, oh, that looks interesting. you've hooked them there, but then there's also the deep like patch notes with every single change that the people who like myself who want to nerd out about all the changes in the next update, they can also see that. But not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone wants to click on the blog post and read everything. They just sometimes
or even know how to get there. Like most people don't even know how to get there.
Find. Yeah. So, for example, let's just say with the renewal rework, right? They could do a couple of quick shorts where it's literally just the overheads that they show where it's changed and doesn't even really need commentary. They could do a bit of a longer one, so it's like that. Those could be 30 seconds. Then they could have one that's got Freeman talking over it that's like 2 or 3 minutes long, and that's like a bit more information. And then they can have like the actual blog post of what's like every change that's in the map, for example. So then you've got different levels of it that if someone's they've just played 5 games of Battlefield and they kind of had fun, but they're not a hardcore gamer, they just play randomly. But they see that randomly like, oh, that map looks familiar. I've seen that before. It looks a bit different. They kind of like know what's going on without having to read a whole essay about it, because not everyone wants to do that. Like we nerd out about that because that's just how we are with games. Like we like getting into the nitty gritty, but not everyone's like that. The very, very large majority, like I would say, I don't know, like at least 90%, probably 95% of people who play any game are not hardcore. Like they just buy it. They see a trailer, they go, oh, that looks cool, I'll buy it. They buy it and they play it once a week. Like that's what most people are like. There's then like the 5 to 10% like us that
there's our audience of podcast listeners.
Yeah. So that's what they need to do is just like I said, with those Dev Corner posts, like the casual players no one watches that. Even like I'm as hardcore as you can get of a Battlefield player. I don't watch those. So what does that say about the content they're putting out when even the hardcore people... I know a lot of people do watch those, but a lot of people that I know that...
Just wait for the Jack Frags
really
video.
Into it. Yeah, exactly. Like I'll just watch the condensed version of it. So yeah.
They should be the ones making the condensed version. Like that. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the problem. Like you have to wait and maybe they... As much as you love Jack Frag, sometimes he gets his information wrong. Like, because we're all people. We don't have that insider knowledge. And then they'll have to be like, oh, wait, nope, it was actually this. Or we have to wait until it comes out to be like, oh, hey, the 5 people that made videos on this, well, they didn't really, it wasn't worded quite right. And then when we get it, it's like, oh, that didn't really pan out like we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and the other thing with that, too, is that, like, we all, like, I love Jack Frags, but not everyone knows Jack Frags. He's not the official Battlefield channel. He's just a YouTuber. So it's like, how am I, like, obviously we know Jack Frags. So when there's stuff like this, we go, oh, if I don't really know what's going on, I'll just watch his video. But not everyone knows that. Not everyone knows Jack Frags. He's not as big as Battlefield, you know what I mean? So they need to put it on official channels. They need to do their own condensing, not relying on...
Or if they don't want to do it, YouTubers. Work with those influencers. Work with Jack Frags. Work with Lossy.
I'm pretty sure anyone... Yeah, they would, like... I would happily make a video for Battlefield and put it on their channel and I don't get paid for it. Like, I think anyone...
Isn't that what the
Jack
whole
Frags
EA content creator network is for?
Well, yeah, you'd think they would use us, but they just don't. It's like... Yeah, that's what they used to do. I remember in Battlefield 1... That's how I found Stone Mountain. They used to put his videos in the game. I found him through the game officially. So it's like, yeah, go back to doing that stuff. Even if it's not them.
You've awakened a deep
condensing
memory.
It. Yeah, can you, mate? I still remember it. I remember on Sinai Desert, like clicking the menu and it pops up with like those down the bottom. It had like a scroll bar thing with like a couple of videos, and it had Stone Mountain's logo on a video, and it was like 10 tips, for beginners or something. The game had just come out, and that's how I found his channel. So like, just to keep doing that. If you're not going to make the content, put it on official channels so that at least it's still there on your official channels. Because like I said, I would have never known Stone Mountain, or I'm sure I would have found him eventually, but I found him through your channels, and now I was learning stuff about the game that they weren't directly telling me, but they were like handing it off and saying, hey, here's someone that we trust what he's saying, go watch this. So at least if they're not doing it, they're kind of passing it on to someone else. So I don't know. They've done it all in the past. I don't know why they don't keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've lost their way.
Yep.
But talking about losing your way, talking about problems with the franchise, let's talk about our Lord and Savior, Vince Zampella. You like that segue there?
I did, and it's funny because I've had the article up the whole time, and there's a picture of him, and I've realised I've just been staring at Vince for like half an hour.
You mean you don't normally do that?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah,
you don't have a shrine in the corner of your studio with pictures of Vince Zampella? So he had an interview with Barron's, and I have no idea what the heck, but it looks like Barron's is this big businessy discussion thing, because it was a very dry interview, and you can tell like Vince Zampella is like trying to make some fun with it, and this person just like super like, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Because he asks him about like the metaverse, and it's like, you're gonna talk to Vince Zampella about the metaverse, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the questions. You're in charge of EA's Battlefield franchise going forward. What do you think happened with the disappointing release of Battlefield 2042 last year?
Straight into it. I love it.
Love it. That's the advantage of these highly technical business blogs. They don't care.
Like, give me the answer to why this went wrong straight
away. Because they literally don't know. They don't know, like, oh, everyone's super hush hush about this because, oh, you don't talk about DICE, but like they're like, no, this game sucked. What happened there?
Yeah.
And his quote was, I think they just strayed a little too far from what Battlefield is. They tried to do a couple things that were maybe ambitious, grow the player count, etc. I don't think they spent enough time iterating on what makes that fun. It's not inherently a bad idea. The way they were set up and the way they executed just didn't allow them to find the best thing possible. Oh, dude, we said this. We said this a year ago.
Yeah.
He then goes on, they ask, what can you say about Battlefield under your watch? He says, quote, it's a whole new structure. We're putting multiple studios together. We're bringing the best talent together and giving them the time to do something amazing. Just said everything I wanted to hear, man.
This is why, to all of you listeners that are curious why we simp over Vince so much, this is why. Because the other thing is he's not the type of person, at least from what we've seen. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but like we've seen enough of Vince that he doesn't just say things and then it just doesn't, he doesn't follow up on it. What he says generally happens. Like, so if he says, where it's a whole new structure and all that kind of thing, like that's what's happening. He doesn't seem to just give you the fluff and just go, oh yeah, I promise it'll be all better. Like he generally, with everything that he's touched, he actually follows through on what he says. So that's why me and Sage are so excited, because like I've said it before, I'll say it again. He is the one person that I think both of us would choose to be leading the franchise. So very exciting to have him.
It's a great thing to see him in the lead and saying things like this, because like you said, we haven't seen him say this and then not do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's the best part. And I do want to kind of have a follow-up. There's a lot of discussion in the Discord about like what the specifics of that last press release was, the whole discussion blog post thing around it. And it totally went over my head, but what I think that they mean, and what a lot of you guys in the Discord said was, hey, I think the next Battlefield game is going to be one full release. DICE is going to be doing the multiplayer aspect of that. The Ridgeline Games is doing the campaign of that one release. And then you have Ripple Effect that's going to be doing something new with that release. So it's going to be like what we have now. With these multiple development studios, they have one release, but each of the developers are leading a different mode or focus of the game.
Yeah, that's definitely how it seems to me. The weird part with that thing last week was that they didn't actually really mention Dice, but I assume Dice is too big for them to just be like, nah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do Battlefield anymore. Like that, they're obviously
See
they're
ya
far
later,
bigger than the other
guys.
companies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd imagine that's how it's gonna go, and I assume Ripple Effect might do some sort of, if it's not going to be another thing like Portal, because they said it's something new. Like I assume it's not just going to be another Portal. So I'd imagine it will be some sort of not a battle royale, because they're saying something new and they've already done that, but it'll be that type of game, like a high stakes type of thing. That's my guess anyway, but yeah, that's what it sounds like. And then Dice will do the multiplayer and Ridgeline will do the campaign, which I'm very keen to see how they handle the campaign.
Yeah, and he specifically calls out something around battle royales. He's asked, what do you think about traditional shooter strategy? Call of Duty, Halo, and Battlefield all disappointed last year. Is it still viable, or has everything moved to a more group-driven style of battle royale? And Vince says it's definitely still viable. And then kind of going on that, was it just bad execution by the three franchises? He dodges the question there of we all do this because we love it. No one wants to do anything that is disappointing. And then follow up. But traditional shooters like Call of Duty, Battlefield, where you have a campaign and multiplayer component, is it still going to be as strong if someone executes in the future? And he says, yeah, absolutely. People love it. There are people that only play multiplayer. There are people that are only play campaign. They want that story and to be part of an adventure. So I don't think we're going to see a battle royale from DICE, Ripple Effect, or Ridgeline anytime soon. But I think maybe they play around with an idea of a free-to-play mode. I think that may be something that they try.
Yeah, I think they'll, because like I said, if it's something new, it can't really be a battle royale, but I think it will be something, they may try and innovate and do their own, start the next thing, because battle royales have kind of taken over. They may try and find their own.
Well, that's what DICE used to do, genre. Is they started that.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope they do. I hope they try that. I would love for a Battlefield game to actually release something new, because even say with Hazard Zone, it was different, but it had still been done. It wasn't the first game to do something like that. So I would love for the next Battlefield to launch and it all goes well, and there's this offshoot mode that becomes the new Warzone, and everyone's like, holy crap, this is the best thing ever, and it starts its own. Then Call of Duty does it afterwards. You know what I mean? I would love that to happen. Whether that does happen, I'm not overly confident, because I just don't think that they have that innovative power that they used to. I think that's kind of gone, unfortunately. But then again, with Vince and that on board, maybe that's not the case anymore. But I hope they do something like that, where it's just a free to play crazy big mode that sort of starts a new era. That would be cool to see, but I'm not sure what that would be. I can't even think of I just keep getting drawn back to battle royale type things, and it's kind of already been done to death. So I don't think they can. You can't really I don't think there's that much more evolution for battle royales to be made. I don't think you can really take it that much further. Maybe I'm wrong, but say with Warzone 2, that's going to be still pretty similar to Warzone 1. It's just a better version. So I don't think they can really make a better battle royale version or something. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah. I would love to see something battle royale focused from DICE if they did it in a way that it fits, or not necessarily DICE, Battlefield, because I have to get away from the idea of DICE equal Battlefield. No, Battlefield equal all of these other studios. But I'd like to see something that's Battlefield, but also battle royale. But I don't think they can necessarily pull it off at this point in time to where it actually makes sense and is a valuable addition to the game industry. But if they have something else, as we've seen Ripple Effect do before, Portal was something entirely new that we didn't think they would ever do. I'd love to see more stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Portal is, I think if the game did better, Portal would be way more talked about, and it might be that could have been the thing that then Call of Duty goes, oh, we need to do that. It had the potential, but it just, I think because the game suffered even more so. So it's kind of sucks because imagine if they didn't do that with this game, and then let's just say the next game comes out and it's really good, and it's, you know, Vince has worked his magic on it, and Portal was that extra mode. I think that would be massive. Like, I think that would be so big, but because this game just didn't really live up to it, I think that's kind of why it's. I don't want to say Portal's been a flop because it's really good, but it's not played all that much. You know what I mean? It's not Warzone. It doesn't have 100 million players. So, and the unfortunate part of that is they didn't learn from their previous mistakes, and they didn't make a free-to-play mode, which that still baffles me. I actually can't believe this game is still, even just the general game, like, how is it still full price at this point? Like, could you just put it out there for free? I don't know. They haven't learned. That's my main hope. I don't care what their offshoot mode is in the next game. Make it free. I don't care what it is. Just make it free, because that's what gets people in the door. And if it's good, people stick around. It's so simple.
Yeah. I think current day, you need to have some kind of free-to-play aspect of your game just to get people in the door. Previously, that included demos. The new demo is a free-to-play mode, and you have stuff like Warzone 2, which is a huge deal. Modern Warfare 2, which is booming today as we're recording it. Like, all of these different areas. Like, I literally played Warzone. Never played any Call of Duty game before. Played Warzone, loved it so much that I bought Call of Duty Cold War.
Yeah.
Never in my life
example.
had I ever played a Call of Duty game. But I was that person that saw Warzone, saw it was for free. It's like, oh, hey, it'd be fun to play this with Sammy Boy and Mark split screen. Like, that would be fun. So, hey, I'm going to get Cold War. And I did. And then my brother got it. And we'd never played Call of Duty before. And we did it. Like, we were introduced to the franchise through this free-to-play game and then converted that into a paid customer.
Yeah. That's the only example that you ever need to give. Like, it's just, I've got mates who were the same. They'd never played it. They see Warzone's free. I was always, like, with other games in the past, I'm always like, oh, you should get this game. And they're like, oh, it's $100. I don't really know if I can afford it. When it's free, there's no risk. Everyone gets it. Everyone has got Warzone. Everyone, whether you still have it or even if you haven't played it, I'm pretty sure, like, everyone who plays shooters downloaded Warzone at one point. And then that gives you a huge pool of people that the chances are majority of them are going to play it, probably think it's a bit of fun, and then they realize, so there's an actual, like, game that sort of comes along with this, and you can level up all your guns, and that's got its own set of maps and all this stuff. You know what? I'm going to buy that too. Like, the example you just gave is literally how that system works, and it's very much proven that it works. It's not just like a fluke. It works because you draw people in, you make a good game, they enjoy it, they want to play it more, they buy it. It's just, I don't know how many times we've had to say this on the podcast, but, like, make good things and people will buy it. It's like
you're blowing my mind,
motto.
Man.
It's the motto of this podcast at this point. I swear almost every episode we have to say that, but yeah, that's what they need to do with the next one, is just have that free-to-play element that a lot of people who saw the launch of this Battlefield, they're not going to pay $100, but I guarantee right now, if it was free, a lot of people would probably jump in and go, oh, well, it's free, I'll just download it. And in its current state, a lot of people might actually buy the full game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's very confusing. I don't know.
Modern day gaming. So I made a meme just for Sammy and I that I'll have to put on social media somewhere. But it's like, it's this old man, and above it is 27-year-old Battlefield fan. That's how I feel when we talk about, like, man, there's so many different options that they go with, because I think we're all here for a reason. We all love Battlefield. It's got something very unique in terms of online shooters. So obviously we want that. They lost their way with Battlefield 2042. They lost it with Battlefield 5 a bit. They got it back on track just to get it going off the rails on the crazy train, but in the wrong direction. And there's so much potential there. We just really want them to innovate with the idea, but also stay true to what Battlefield is. And it's the grander scale. That necessarily doesn't mean keep on adding more people until you have 1,000 people. It's, hey, it could be 64 people. And you just have this big scale of where you feel like you're in a battlefield. Like, that's all it needs to be.
Yeah. It's they need to get that balance of going back to their roots, but you also can't just like remake Battlefield 4, because as good as that game was, if you just remade it after like 3 months of playing it, I think we'd all be bored of it because we played it so much. You do need to innovate a bit, but I think they just went a bit overboard with this one and tried to innovate too much, and it went, like Vince said in this, it went a bit too far away from what Battlefield is. So if they can just rein it back a little bit with the next one, but still have something in there that makes you go, like, for example, like the plus system and the call-in system in this game, those are things that I think they should continue to have in future games. So they've done some innovation that's really good. Like that, the plus system is great, but
yeah, I love it.
They also then
fantastic.
Like, so in the next one, I hope that they keep that. Just like, say with like the behemoth system in Battlefield 1, I wish they kept that. That's a good innovation. But they then go, we've done that, we'll just won't do it again. Like, what? You're learning good things. Why are you throwing that out with the next game? I don't get it.
Like, man, people really like that one. Dang it.
Yeah. Everyone likes that. All right, let's delete it. Yeah.
Screw those guys. We're never going to bring this back again. We're going to keep on adding things people hate. And if you love it, it's not going to be in the next one.
Yeah.
Screw you guys.
It's very, very confusing the way they do a lot of that stuff. But, and like same with Battlefield 5, that game had a lot of issues, but the squad system and the way that you could call in like the V1 rockets and stuff by earning the squad points or whatever they were called. Like, that's a good innovation. Keep that in the next one. I don't get why they delete those things. So hopefully they just go back to like the core of Battlefield, but take all those little bits from each game that were good, and then also try a couple new things that maybe they fail, but if the core game's good enough, I don't think people will care, because let's just say the plus system didn't work, but this game was really good. I think everyone will be like, well, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to care if the small innovations just suck, because then you just don't put them in the next one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that they do learn that's good. Even like, say, the fortification system in Battlefield 5. I thought that was worthy of keeping. Yeah.
I basically played Minecraft in Battlefield 5. That's how I played that game.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's my hope for the next game, is it's just true to Battlefield, but I don't want them to take that too literally and just remake the old games, because then we've already played that. We do need a bit of innovation. That's the issue for me with Call of Duty, is that they don't do that. Maybe now with Warzone, that's a bit different. Warzone is very, like, it's sort of like pushing the envelope a bit, but their core games, it quite literally is just the same game every year with a bit. It's like a big DLC pack every season,
pretty much,
or every year.
Very small changes that you can fill over the course of maybe a decade, but not necessarily one to the other.
Yeah. So that's and look, I love Call of Duty, but every time I buy one, like I just bought Modern Warfare 2 yesterday because I wanted to get the beta, and I buy it knowing like I'll probably have fun for like 2 months, and then it's just the same one as the last one. So like I'll probably get bored of it pretty quickly, and I don't want that with Battlefield. So they just got to find that balance, I think, which it's easier said than done, but yeah, it can't be that hard either, surely. Like they've made a lot of good games. Just go back to just study those games and figure out what worked, put that stuff in there, and then just try a couple new things. If they fail, at least the game will be hopefully good enough that people aren't going to care that much.
Yeah, exactly. But with that, thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the Battlefield Show. We greatly appreciate all of your support and you listening and joining us every week on Saturday. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the interview with Vince Zampella? What do you think about the current state and kind of gameplay rollout of Battlefield 2042? What would you like to see in the next update season? All of that, we'd love to hear that. Either in, if you're watching this on YouTube, the description underneath the like button, you've got the comment section. We'd love to hear it there. Send us an email, contact@uplinkpodcast.com. You can also join the Discord and reach out to us, ask questions there, have discussions in our Battlefield channel. And as always, we'll see you on the battlefield.